Alright, this video I'm going to speak about, in my opinion, what makes the perfect student. This is coming from somebody who's run a martial arts school for over 15 years, and for somebody who's been practicing, for over 30 years. Obviously, I know what it's like to be a student, um, and I have experience in what it's like to not just being an instructor, but to actually own a school and to, create a style and a way and to promote that way. And I aim to represent Kung Fu, the martial arts, for the rest of my life. Also having 5 children of my own. I don't have a huge school. I don't have a lot of students, but I do have some really high quality students. And there's always this talk about people, oh, they're looking for the right instructor, the perfect instructor, or there's always like criticism about different instructors and good instructors and bad instructors, and finding the right master, the right Sifu, the right teacher. But I think it's good to provide a mirror, a reflection into, looking themselves in the mirror and be like, okay, am I actually a good student? And people always talk about, whether or not the instructor is worthy. But I think what really has to happen is people start having to think about, am I worthy to be a student? I think part of it, which I think that the way that it should be, the way that I wish it was that it would be like a martial arts school such as this one would be highly selective in who they choose to have as students, opposed to the general public feeling that they could choose where they want to go, and then they could choose which school that they want to be a part of, opposed to the school choosing who they want to be a part of the school. So meaning like exclusivity and something of high quality. It only is quality when there is kind of a selection process. So meaning, if anybody could just log online, click subscribe, and claim like, hey, I'm a part of this school now just because I clicked subscribe, it doesn't really put anything of great value into that. So say instead of going to college, people, to get a 4-year degree, they just log online just to click subscribe, and then now they don't need to go to college anymore, then it really doesn't really put any meaning to it. So meaning, like these higher level colleges, like say these Big Ten colleges, they have a lot of applicants that want to be a part of the school, and not only do they want to be a part of the school, but they're willing to pay a lot of money to be a part of the school. They're willing to even take out loans for thousands of dollars to be a part of the school, and they need to get good grades to be a part of the school. They need to apply and basically prove themselves to be a part of the school. Like, I wish that a martial arts school would be able to have that type of influence and authority in order to be selective and to select the right students. And I think that that's how it should be. Like, if somebody wants to get to Big Ten college, they might have to pay upwards to $100,000 for 4 years, if not more money. They need to, like I said, good grades, and not have like a criminal history, and basically prove themselves to be able to be selected to be a part of that school. And I feel that if a martial arts school operated in that fashion, there would be a lot more respect for the martial arts. So I would say, in my thoughts, the perfect student would definitely be, I think, one of the biggest things that is extremely important is loyalty. Um, because what's the point of having a student, no matter if they're skilled or unskilled, if they're not loyal? Because if they just come to your school for one day, 1 hour, 1 week, then what's the point? Like, how are they helping the school grow? If all they care about is themselves and they don't care about the school, then what's the point? And I think that that's absolutely one of the most important parts. And I think with the advent of just technology and how this culture is with the microwave culture, and how you could just go from one channel to the next channel, one website to the next website, there's really like a lot of lack of loyalty out there, not just in martial arts, but in places of employment, in relationships, and just even in parenthood. A lot of parents jumping ship and just not being there for their kids anymore, abandoning the kids. Relationships that just are very fleeting, like no matter if it's like one night stands or just dating for a few months and then moving on. Employment where you're just working for one place for a few weeks or a few months and then you'll leave to go somewhere else. Like, if there's no loyalty in a student, then there doesn't really, it doesn't build, there can't be a future that's built. So I think loyalty is probably absolutely one of the most important things. um, and once that's established, then you kind of come together to have a common goal of like expressing and sharing the martial arts in its totality, um, with integrity, like together, side by side, basically operating as a team or operating as a family. That would I would say is one of the most important. Another thing is that's important is giving back. Um, there's different ways to give back, but one of the most direct and easiest way to give back is through payment. And just basically being financially responsible where they can give payment. Because school you can't have a school without like access to certain resources. So I'm not just talking about like a school that's just starting off, that's out of a basement or a garage or training outside, and you just got a few students here and there. I'm talking about like a school that has like a foundation of like a future. And just like a college, like college has campuses and they got buildings and they got resources. So a school that has resources means that things need to get paid. The school, where the school is, the mortgage and the property taxes and the rent. Basically, the rent needs to be paid. The electricity needs to be paid. The gas needs to be paid. And there's bills that had to be taken care of. This is aside from just the paying for the person's time, you still got to pay for resources. So in order to make a school successful, people have to come together to share resources. And a student needs to work hard to make money in order to help pay for these resources. Otherwise, there's not going to be any future. So a student that's responsible with their finances in which to contribute towards the school by paying their dues is extremely important. And if for whatever reason they cannot do that, then they would have to market and promote enough where they could get other people to join and become a part of school, in which they can help contribute towards resources, so, and pay dues and things like that, and fees. So meaning, say if a student didn't have much money and they couldn't pay for the training, but then say they got 10 other students to join that are paying, for the training, then that one student who got the 10 students to join, is extremely of high value, even though that actual student is not paying themselves. They are helping the school greatly by promoting and getting other people involved into the school in order to make payment, in order to secure a bright future for the school. So I would say that those components are extremely important. Other components that are important is having a good spirit, being a good person is really important. I mean, usually this is something that's supposed to be a given, but not necessarily so. Like, you don't want to be associated or training with, having students that are just basically like criminals or something, or somebody who are violent murderers, or, like, people that get in trouble with the law all the time, or, people are just that are just gonna do bad things. I mean, to me, it's similar to, say, you were a police chief of a police department, and then you gotta hire, people to become police officers. You can't just hire anybody. You have to hire people that are good people, that truly want to serve the community, and not not be corrupted. You don't want to have corrupted people in your department. So in the martial arts school, you just want people that have good character, that have integrity, that treat people with respect, people that are mentally healthy, people that value meditation and living a good life, and just value people. So that is extremely important. um, and I would say that those are like the foundational aspects. As far as like skills are concerned, I mean, that can always be developed, and that is usually what joining a school is all about. So the school is supposed to help you become stronger, have more endurance, be faster, um, you know be more flexible, be more skillful in your training, in your forms, and your techniques. And I guess having all that and building up to be good at that serves to be a good example for the school, so then people could look at you, be inspired by you, and want to basically follow in your footsteps, and hopefully join themselves and also partake in the journey. And that is important, as well. You want people representing a high level. Think about the movie 300, and those 300 soldiers, or those 300 Spartans, where everybody's elite. So it'd be great to have students who represent that, and then represent that together. One it's not one Spartan, not just one soldier, not just 10, not just 20, but there's 300 of them. So to get 300 people to be able to represent that elite level is an amazing thing, and to make that happen in real life, that would be an awesome achievement, and an awesome thing to strive towards. So just rather than just talking about one Bruce Lee, imagine 300 Bruce Lees all together in one family, in one martial arts school that's representing an extremely high level. And it's like operating as a team, similar to what they might be in a basketball team. Having like 5 really highly developed basketball players on the floor or on the court, and then having the players on the bench together there's 12 like elite players on the team, or even further going to development of a football team. The defense and offense. I don't know exactly how many the players there are, but say there's 24 players or 30 players, and they're all representing a high level in one team. That's great. And I feel like a martial arts school having that type of representation is a great thing, and would be an amazing thing to strive for. And I would say, other things would be just the student that treats the school as if it's his own, where he really cares about it. He cares about the growth. He or she, like, cares about the growth, and really wants to see it improve and grow, and they market and promote like it's their own. And the more people that they get to join of quality, it enhances their lives and their well-being, and adds to their legacy. And they see a great purpose in what they do, and it adds so much excitement to their lives outside of just going to work in their 9 to 5. They get to meet great people, train with great people, and kind of in a way build their own family and be a part of an amazing community. And it's something very special that they want to protect and be a part of, and not just short term, but pretty much for the rest of their lives. They want to be a part of something great, and it's something that's the motivation is something beyond money. It's more is something deeper than that, and they give from the heart, and they're more than happy to give because it comes back to them. Some of the most important and greatest things about a great school is the people that you meet, and the people that you bond with, and the relationships that you build. It's irreplaceable. You can't be replaced with money or AI or whatever. It's something very special. So that in addition to the actual training, and the the expertise involved, and how unique it is. And to me, it's something that is rare, and something that doesn't come by often, and something very much worth the effort to preserve and grow, and people should feel like an honor to be a part of that. And it's something that is lifelong. It's not just like going to high school and then just going to college and then that's it. It's like you could become a part of something that is a lifelong thing, that where you make a difference, and it provides great purpose in your life, rather than just like collecting a paycheck at a job, and things like that. You're contributing to something greater, something that can be influential for the entire world, and something that could live on like even after your death. And I think that's something, it's very rare to be a part of something like that, and it's not for everybody, and it's not meant to be for everybody, but for the people that it is meant to be for, it is an experience that cannot be replicated, not easily replicated, especially in this type of culture that we live in, where everything is just about consumerism and just making money and buying things, and that's it. This type of coldness of just business and nothing more. To be a part of something where it goes so deep into the soul of like connecting humans in a genuine way, it's very powerful. And that's what I would say would be the key elements of what makes a perfect student. And because of these, because of what is required, it's not easy to locate the perfect student or the right students, and it's not meant to be easy. And that's why this work, that's why this work, in this line of work, you got to be patient, and you have to continue to work hard and stay motivated, even when even when there are challenges ahead. You don't give up. But in the end of the day, it's worth it. All the hard work is worth it. To have the ability and the power to create family, from somebody you literally just met, that used to be a stranger. It's definitely an extremely powerful experience that it's very beautiful, that you don't really get anywhere else out there. So I think it's worth people to think about, as they reflect upon martial arts and their personal journey, what they're looking for in a school, but then to also reflect upon what they are doing themselves to be, the right student. And the more people out there that aim to better themselves and to be a better version of themselves, and to work hard, then it will create a better martial arts community. Because without good students, there can't be any good schools. Because there can't be a school without the students. So if the students basically come in with a certain level of like respect and appreciation for the training, then that's what really truly makes the biggest difference.